Welcome to Sometimes Gorilla Printing with Grace YouTube channel. Thank you for all joining. Today we're going to do the ragdoll. Um, Currently, I'm drawing the ragdoll that you guys seen on the Instagram page, the Sometimes underscore Gorilla on Instagram. Follow me, and basically I'm going to show you how I drew this thing. Normally, the template for the head is already made, so this is my attempt to like draw the body. I'm using Photoshop, as most of you can see here. Some people like Adobe Illustrator. Me, I like to use Photoshop. Well, here we go. This is my first layer. What you don't see here is that I have already drawn the character on a piece of paper already. And now what I'm doing is not all the way from memory, but I'm actually drawing it from the paper onto the canvas. I also have the Artisol uh, graphics tab that I use to draw these things. If you were wondering, I'm not drawing it directly with the mouse. So I do have an Artisol uh, pad that I can draw on like a piece of paper. But anyway, as you can see, uh, I'm on my first layer here, and I'm pretty much just sketching out the body. I had already knew how I wanted it to look. Um, Again, I would suggest anybody who's going to do any kind of transfer of art to uh, their Photoshop or Illustrator for that matter, you might want to draw it out on a piece of paper a couple times and get used to how you want it to look and perfecting it first before going straight to the Illustrator or the Photoshop in my case. Some people are good at that. I am not one of those guys, so I have to draw mine out. So, and also a lot of times when you're drawing it out, it doesn't come out quite the way you expected it. Like in this case, it's bigger than I needed it to be. And a lot of times you want it bigger so you can actually visualize it on the canvas. You can always go back, as you just seen me do, and resize it to get it where you need it to be. So far, as you can see, I've drawn the body. I'm now getting into the hands and the feet of this thing, which I'm still just using one layer for now. This is just the one layer, and I'm going over it and cropping things out, cutting things out. And uh, what I'll do is once I've got it everything together, I'll merge all the layers, and then I'll go back and fill them in a white layer. And you'll see that in a few here. I usually just draw everything, get all my lines straight and everything like that. And then what I'll do is I'll just do the paint bucket tool and make everything white. That way I can see where I need to make my edits. Um, for me, I've been doing this for a while, so it works better for me. Um, for me to work like that, as you can see here, I'm pretty much here's where I was telling you about. I needed to be transparent so I can see um, where I need to make my edits at most of the time. So enjoy a little bit of what's going on here. I'm gonna grab me some water real fast, and I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back, people. Uh, I was thirsty. Um, Mouth was getting dry, but here I am. Like I was telling you earlier, before turning off the background and then um, doing my paint bucket tool and dropping white paint into everything, so I can literally see uh, where I need to go at. The reason I do that because the background is white like a piece of paper, and a lot of times your drawing can get lost on the paper. For me, it can anyway. So um, this is what I like to do, and then what I'll do is I'll bring the background back in later. Um, as you can see here, I have already created a new layer, and this is where I'll typically begin to make my overlays. Like again, where here for me it would be an edit. Again, I'm places that I made mistakes at, or obviously I didn't need that line in there. That you can see it from the original layer, and I had to end up drawing the feet over. So this is where I would uh, do my edits for the most part, and a lot of times I'm doing my coloring here as well. Again, this works for me. Um, it's not going to work for everybody. Everybody has their own style. It just simply works for me in this case, and it has over time. So uh, as you can see, I've I've already colored out my lines instead of, and I mean, it was another way you could have did that. You could have erased it as well, believe it or not. I chose not to. Um, Now I'm back to my original layer and adding on more in-depth stuff. This is going to be the stitching down his leg primarily, stitching down by the feet. You'll see how that comes out in a few here. It's just like I said, it's some method to my madness. It's really not all that hard to do these things, but as a tutorial, I figured I explain it to everybody so you can see for yourself how it works. I'm using the pencil tool here. I think I normally use about a 4. That's the closest thing to a pencil to me. Every now and then I might go to a 2. 2 is too small. A 5 is too thick for me. Um, I do use 5s and better for certain things. For certain things, but for typical just um, drawing, I would probably go with like I said, the 4 works better for me. You know what I mean? Between 4 and 5, and sometimes 3, it gives you that pencil feel, for lack of a better word. It definitely gives you that pencil feel um, on the canvas. So that's what I like to use, and it has worked wonders for me here. Um, as you can see, those I just pretty much put the stitching in there. Um, I'm resizing the head to get the head. Obviously, if you know anything about my characters, my sometimes gorilla guy here, the head is always a little bit bigger than the body. Um, Again, personal preference. It's a cartoon of mine, one of our trademark characters. So that's what we do, and it works for me. But uh, at this point, I've merged all the layers. So now I'm back to one layer, and now my background. So for me, a lot of times I get so far, and if I like what I'm doing, um, I eliminate the extras. A lot of people likes to keep, 5 and 6 windows full of edits going. Me, I work better with 1, 2, or 3. You know what I mean? And working within that canvas. And if I mess up or if I need to go back, I can always just hit the back tool. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. It's just that easy to do most of the times. Um, Again, personal preference. A easier way to do it, believe it or not, besides my way, would probably be to create those other layers. Because when you create other layers, you can actually go back and just work and fix those particular layers, as opposed to, let's say you made a mistake and messed up everything. You can, just work with those layers. Um, Here, I'm coloring things in a little bit. Again, this character it's pretty simple, cut and dry. I mean, it's a rag doll. It's not um, all these thought out things here. It's just a simple rag doll design. Um, and again, just so you can understand, I have probably drawn this character probably in total, maybe I don't know, I want to say 4 or 5 times at least. So I have different renditions of it. So what you're seeing here, and the reason it's moving a little faster than probably the other tutorials that I'm going to do, is because I had already done this several different times to figure out what I really liked about it and what I didn't really like about it and what I needed to change. Um, Future tutorials, I'll probably start from the scratch and show you like all the different layers and all the different changes I may go through, because a lot of times, when you're drawing, um, the picture evolves. Obviously, it can evolve, it can change. What you originally might thought was cool may change to something else. Um, uh, in this case, it did not, but normally that happens. Though, you know what I mean? You can just you know you see one thing, and next thing you know, it's on to something else. But um, in this case, I'm doing the coloring. Like I said, I'm a little pretty much fast tracking it a little bit because I kind of knew what I wanted to do. And being one of my first tutorials, I'm learning as well. So I'm trying to learn how I want these things to go. Um, and I needed to do something a little faster paced with the drawing. That way I can kind of, when I go back and do my video edits, um, I could actually go back and see what I like and what I don't like. So this is, you're gonna have to bear with me, people. This is my first episode, and thank you for being here. But I'm still learning as well. So, like I said, if you could just bear with me, and they'll get better as time goes on. But here I am, just coloring everything in, literally, just coloring everything in. Um, because the doll at this point is already drawn out. This is what the doll is going to look like. I'm going to add a couple things, but at this point, the things that are going to be added is in depth things um, to give the ragdoll some character. You know what I mean? There's nothing more to the body, and the head is obviously what the head's going to look like almost all the time. The face is going to be pretty much the same. The mouth may change, but that head is always going to be the same, because that is my trademark uh, baby gorilla here. So with that being said, I'm going to let this thing play some more, and I hope you're enjoying my little channel here. Uh, Again, you have everything you need to know about this. Again, I use the size 4 pencil, um, maybe 3 layers in total, and there you have it. Enjoy. Also, if anybody had any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Um, always, I guess I would have to ask if you would subscribe to the channel, or give me a like, or even tell me what you don't like. I mean, that's cool too. You know what I mean? I like criticism just like as I like congratulations. So let me know what you guys think. Um, like I said, this is my first video. I'm not really sure how this is supposed to go, but I am giving it my best. So bear with me, people, and thank you for coming to my channel.